All right, welcome to another episode of the program. Today, we're going to talk about chess versus checkers. Unfortunately, at most dealerships, when it comes to negotiating a car deal, we're playing checkers. That's right. And it's just the way the business works. Most of the time, people aren't professionally trained on negotiating. And what happens is we make a proposal to the customer, and then for whatever reason, we end up doing arbitrary numerical exchanges. That's right. We just decide to negotiate with feelings. What do you feel like? Let me see what they'll do, and so forth. You don't have to. Let me show you the difference between chess and checkers. Here's our scenario. Our customer's making a $316 payment, right, on a car that's an 06 G6 V6, right? They still owe about $3,000, right? The car's worth not quite that much, right? And then we're looking at a 2020 Camry, which is a $24,000 vehicle. And we propose the payments for the new car to the customer at $528 a month. And the customer says, wow, that payment's too high. Now here's where checkers happens. The average sales consultant is trained to say, really? If the payment's too high, where do you need to be? And so now you see the customer has to write their own deal. Well, what is the customer going to say? Well, who knows what they're going to say? Let's just say that they start at the payment they're making. Well, I couldn't pay any more than what I'm paying now. Now, what does the salesperson do? He says, well, gosh, you're driving a car that's, an 06, and we're talking about a 2020, so it's going to cost you more. Your vehicle's only a $1,500 car, and this car's a $24,000 car. It's going to cost more. You're going to have to pay more, if you had to. How much could you come up? And then the salesperson and the customer talk for a while, and the customer comes up, let's say to $350, and says, well, this is as high as I can go. And the salesperson says, well, gosh, $350 is usually a $15,000 or $16,000 car. Hey, that's why your payment's only $316. Remember what you paid for that one when you bought it used a couple years ago. We're not in a situation where we can make a $24,000 car cost that much. And then, of course, the customer says, well, give me my keys. It's not going to work out. Oh, wait a minute, boss. Don't leave yet. Hold on a minute. We can work with you. Hey, listen, could you come up to $375? Give me something to work with. Don't send me to Vietnam with a BB gun. So then the customer acquiesces that they would be willing to bump to $375. And then the salesperson says, well, really, do you have any money down? And the customer says, well, no, I don't want to put any money down. But the salesperson says, listen, if I got any shot of getting this payment under $400, I'm going to need at least a couple $1,000s down. And so they go around for another 10 minutes. And finally, the customer agrees to pay $400 a month as long as they've got no money down. And all we did was negotiate based on what they want to do. It's just feelings. And so all of this negotiation has resulted in the customer bumping once, twice, even 3 times. And they think that they've negotiated in good faith and made a legitimate offer to purchase that car. Here's the problem, right? At $528 a month versus $400 a month, we're talking about $128 a month, right? That's a ton of money, isn't it? If you multiply $128 a month times a 72-month term, what do you get? Yeah, we're $9,216 away from a car deal. So the salesperson's bringing the pencil back to the desk, and he's almost 10 grand apart with the customer's offer to purchase. No wonder deals like this don't come together. And here's what makes it worse, right? Because in good faith, we want to make the car deal, so the manager says, hey, here's what we can do. We can do $499, but not a penny more. Right? And he stretches the term. He goes to 75 instead of 72. He'd go 84, but he can't because this guy's a 6'11", and the advanced guidelines for this deal with the negative equity and everything won't allow him to do 135% for any longer than 75 months. It's kind of complex, but the bottom line is we're still, right, at $499, $30 or so a month away from a car deal. The customer saved $2,100, but why? When the salesperson comes back and said, listen, I can't do any better than this, but here's what I can do for you. I can keep you at $499. What does the customer say? In his mind, he's saying, boy, I'm glad I didn't say yes to this because I just saved $2,100 by hesitating. There's been no value that's been discussed. In other words, one of the things that's missing from this checker-style negotiation is what is the customer getting? No one's talking about the fact that they're getting a 2020 Camry with all of the associated features that come from moving up 14 model years and getting a brand new car. Now, this is Checkers. We didn't put the deal together. The customer had to leave because they couldn't save face. We were still, I don't know how many dollars away. We were probably $7,000 away from a car deal when the customer left, and we just couldn't put it together. But they felt like they negotiated in good faith, made a real offer, and even at the end when they said, oh, I'll give you $450, you still couldn't put this deal together, right? What does Chess look like? Same exact scenario that we had before, but in this case, we present the numbers to the customer, and the customer says the payment's too high. And instead of playing checkers, we say, you know what? You're right, the payment is too high. Here's the payment that's too high, the one you're making now. You see, you told me, Mr. Customer, that you spent $600 on tires for that vehicle in just the last 2 years. You also spent $400 on a wiper blade motor you had to replace. You spent $200 fixing a windshield. That means you spent $1,200 in just the last 24 months, which means you're not paying $316, right? Because you're spending $50 a month in maintenance on that car that you wouldn't have to spend on your new one, which means your real effective payment on this car is $366. And it doesn't stop there. You're looking at a brand new Camry, the car that you're driving, right, has a V6 in it. Yours gets 16 miles to the gallon. The new vehicle is going to get 28 miles to the gallon. Based on your driving, that's going to save you $75 a month. So your current payment for the vehicle that you're driving now, if you include how much more it costs you in gas than your new car will, and how much more it costs you in maintenance than your new car will, you're spending $441 a month now. My God, you've got a new car payment, you just don't have a new car. That doesn't make any sense. For just $87, we can get you a brand new car, and we can move you up 16 model years. We can get you something that has a warranty that'll protect you and your family's budget the entire time, and that works out in a month to less than $3 a day. So for less than $3 a day, I can get you out of this car that you're paying way too much for every month, and I can get you into a new one, and we can protect your family's budget, and we can move you up from something that's worth $1,500 to something that's worth $24,000. That means I'll get you 16 times the car for less than $3 a day. You want something hot or cold to drink while you wrap it up? That is Chess. In other words, we defend the value of the initial proposal, and instead of asking the customer where they'd like to be, we give them a reason to buy. Value, right? What you get. What do they say? They say there's two things, right? Payment is what you pay. Value is what you get. Don't forget about the value. See if you can play chess with your customer next time.